Alright guys, what is up? My name is BassWiz and today we're going to be talking about The Promised Neverland Manga chapter 153. There will be spoilers for The Promised Neverland in this video. If you are not caught up, I suggest doing that before continuing. Let's get into it. This chapter was honestly kind of anxiety inducing to go through the first time, because this is something we've been waiting for as readers for a long time, for Emma and Ray to meet up with Norman, and now it's finally happened. We got to see some insight into what motivated Norman to do what he did. A lot of people that read this series were under the assumption that they understood exactly why Norman did what he did, and I was always on the fence about that. I've been thinking about making videos in the past discussing Norman's morality, but every time I tried to make that video, it never worked out because I never understood Norman until now. I was under the impression that maybe Norman is evil because if you look at his actions in a bubble, one would assume that he leans towards that way, especially with this operation where he so ruthlessly cut through the demon hierarchy in, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes, an hour that this operation has started. It was so coordinated, it was so cold, it was so calculating that one would assume that this is the work of a tyrant, of someone who has a criminal organization under his foot and he knows exactly what he's doing. He planned it out like a game of chess. But that's a misconception. His actions are not the one of a tyrannical leader seeking to rule the world. His actions are that of a scared child, and that was personified last week with that vision he had of a younger self, and this week with that same vision, except I couldn't see it. Emma, on the other hand though, Emma and Ray, his family, they saw right through him. They were able to see clear through the 6-foot wall of bullshit that Norman has set up from himself and his emotions, and they saw that scared child. That's all that Emma can see in his actions, and that has been what she's been able to see ever since she met up with Norman again in the hideout for the first time. Since way back in like chapter 120, Emma has been talking to Norman like, you don't have to be alone, we're here for you. But for Norman, that went in one ear and out the other. He was like, okay, sure, the sentiment is nice, Emma, but I have a plan and I'm the only one that can do it. And that's just how it is. When given other alternatives, like using the blood of the Blood Maiden clan, he did not think clearly about it. He heard what she was saying, and all he registered in his head was, oh, that'll probably be a problem for my plan, so I should probably get rid of her. He didn't consider Emma's plan for a second because he had already had it made up in his mind. This is how we win. This is what we have to do for the humans to win. And he wasn't wrong, to give him credit. He flawlessly executed his plan, and he wiped out even the queen, even Duke Everk. And after doing so, he felt no satisfaction from it. In fact, he looks guilty, but he would never admit this to anyone, not even the other people from Lambda that are there. They don't look like they're celebrating. They just finished killing the last member of the Regent houses. They just finished killing Queen Regla Valima, and they're just standing around feeling somber. And I don't even think they, at the moment, understand why. They aren't happy about it. But Emma, she understands that the way they're going about this isn't the way that'll lead to happiness. The way they're doing things is only ever going to lead to more pain. She knew that if Norman went through with his genocide plan, that if he became this mass murderer, that it would always mean that he would never return to being happy. He would always have that on his conscience. He'll never be able to be happy ever again. And she didn't want him to go through that. But at the same time, it's already too late. He already went through with it. He already killed the royalty. He already poisoned the water supply. There's not much that can happen now at this point that will erase those sins from Norman, and he knows that. So when he's confronted by Emma's kindness, which I was not expecting, but I should have, when he's confronted by Emma's kindness Emma's kind words about there's always a second chance. We already knew what you were planning. We know about the poison. We know how you wanted to kill Musica, but it's still not over yet. I have to question as a reader, what is Emma talking about? Because on paper, everything that Norman has done makes him irredeemable. Even if he himself is not an evil person, what he did is irreversible. I only have to assume that maybe Musica's blood is more powerful than we're led to believe. Maybe it can cure the illness that Norman has, because we get it revealed that he doesn't have much longer left to live. That's been hinted at before, but now we got it in clear writing. He doesn't have much longer left to live. Maybe Musica's blood can heal that. Maybe the promise that Emma made with Symbol is that powerful that they somehow make it out of this without Norman sacrificing his morality. I come out of this chapter with a lot of questions, more so than answers, and that is not something I expected. I don't know how this series is going to end now. Musica has to play a big part, I know that. Symbol's promise has to play a huge part as well. I just don't see how this is wrapped up cleanly in Emma's perspective. She seems very sure of herself that they'll make it out of this okay. But she's saying this while laying in a pool of bodies. I don't know. Let me know what you guys have to think about this chapter. I'm left sort of confused. Drop a like if you like what I have to say. Check out my social media and the links down below. That will be it for me today. See ya.